Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Three Up and Three Down once again. This is Sweet Lou from Sweet Lou Sports. I know we didn't have a lot of subscribers last year, so I hope after you win some money this season that you will hit like and subscribe. We're a small channel, no frills whatsoever. All we're trying to do is give you winners. I think we did that last year. For those unfamiliar with this show, I'm going to give you six players today for the DraftKings main contest, which starts with the 12 o'clock games. Last year, we hit almost 90% hit value I consider about two and a half times what you're paying for the players on DraftKings. We had about a little less than 90% on the three up and over 80% on the three down. So, if you played them all, that should have given you a positive bankroll at the end of the year. As you can see, I am ready for this season. I already have my three TV sets up on the screen. Only one of them is not on there now with obviously college game day. But all three will be fired up at around noon. For those unfamiliar, the three up, I'm going to give you three players that I believe you need to pay up for in the DraftKings contest. And the three down will be three players that I think are extremely undervalued and should hit value a good percentage of the time, if not relatively easy. Once again, please hit like and subscribe and let me know how you did. One more thing, I am going to try to post these videos a little bit earlier from now on. Unfortunately, I spent the last 36 hours trying to delve into college football, trying to get my fourth big win of the last 5 years. And hopefully it will help you guys as well. The first week is always the toughest because unlike the NFL, where you have to have a detailed depth chart and you have to have detailed injuries for every single game, college football coaches tend to hide quite a bit of it, and we don't get a lot of that. So, and the other reason why it makes it tough, you have recruits and you have transferring that you're kind of guessing at some points whether or not they're going to be key parts of their teams. So without any further ado, we'll go to the three up players that I believe you need to pay up for because they're excellent picks. And number one, we're going to start off with wide receiver Easton Masser. I'm sorry about that. I'm having a tough time. I've got my little notes on the side. Out of Florida Atlantic, FAU, he is at 7,500. They play Maryland this week. It's supposed to be the second highest implied total on the board between FAU and Maryland. And even though FAU is a fairly good underdog, hold on, let me make sure I got that right. I got to check my notes real quick. And I'm sorry, it is the highest implied total. Now, Maryland is favored by double digits. I believe it was around 12 last time. So I do think that FAU, they're going to throw the ball regardless, but they may have to throw the ball even more. He is a transferred from Western Kentucky. And ironically, he transferred to FAU along with his quarterback, Caden Ventkamp. And I believe that would not be a bad stack if you wanted to put both of them on there. I actually think FAU is going to throw the ball even more than Western Kentucky did. And Western Kentucky was a pass-happy team last year. So the first on the three upside is going to be Easton Messer from FAU. Second is going to be wide receiver Elijah Surratt from Indiana, which plays Old Dominion. Now, I struggle with this one at first. I think the production from Surratt is going to have to come early. This could be a blowout, but he is a very big threat. And at the price of $7,100, I'm going to take a talent like that. He's an NFL talent, somebody that's going to perform well at the next level. And at $7,100 for a top-tier wide receiver, I couldn't pass it up, even though I do believe that he's going to have to get most of his points in the first 2 to 3 quarters. And finally, we're going to go with quarterback Braylon Braxton from Southern Mississippi, who is at 7,000. Let me take a look real quick. 500. They are playing Mississippi State. Now, Mississippi State had one of the three worst run defenses last year. Not pass defenses, run defense. I'm not sure they got much better. But this kind of fits into it. Mississippi State, this is the second highest. Let me double check that again. I don't want to give you any wrong information. It is. It's the second highest implied total. And Mississippi State, I believe, is favored by about 11 points. So I do think Southern Miss will throw the ball. But more importantly, for those of you that followed me last year, in this scoring format for DraftKings, I believe having a quarterback that can run as well as throw the ball is key. And that's the main reason why I went to Braxton. He had 2 games with over 140 yards rushing last year. He has experience, and I think he is an excellent pick. Now we're going to go to the 3 downside of the slate. These are 3 players that I believe you could get at a bargain basement price. Before I go on here real quick, remember to always check the weather. There are no significant weather issues this week for college football, at least not for this main slate. And also, if you're going to be playing these games, you have to, up until kickoff time, try to see if there's any tweets, anything about injuries or about somebody not playing at the last minute. Again, that's something the NFL has to have active and inactive players. College football does not, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But also, by the same token, it gives us who, have a little bit of knowledge of the game. And for those of you that don't know, I was a sports writer for a long time. And as I mentioned before, I've been quite successful on DraftKings. So it gives us a little bit of an edge. So the first person we're going to start off on the 3 downside, players that I believe that are undervalued, are Rocco Griffin. He is the running back at UMass. And they are playing Temple, I believe, who had a absolutely horrible run defense last year. I believe it was the second worst run defense in college football. He is only 5,500. He is a transfer coming in from, this is actually his third stop. He was at Vanderbilt. He was at Texas San Antonio. But right now, as it stands, he is the main man to get carries in that backfield. And, at 10 to 15 carries a game, that might be enough against that Temple defense to give us value. Second one, and the other thing you got to check prior to, the only injury that I know of in the main slate that is a very impactful injury comes with Alabama, where running back and Jam Miller is out for the significant future, probably 3 or 4 weeks. And I immediately went to their backup, Richie Young from Alabama, at 5,800. They are playing FSU this week. He's a talented player. I do believe he's going to get the majority of the carries. And when I saw that Miller was hurt, I immediately had to go that way. I don't care too much about anything. Alabama has a new quarterback who could run and throw, so, they're going to be testing him out, but they're also going to be relying a lot on their backs and, in this particular case, on Richard Young. And finally, the last player at the 3 down section is going to be wide receiver Kayvon Ross from Penn State, which plays Nevada. Again, kind of like Surratt, this one gave me a little bit of reservation. He's at 5,400, by the way, because Penn State is such a heavy favorite against Nevada. You think they just may run the ball and run the ball and run the ball again, and, this game could get out of hand. But at 5,400, the biggest weakness for Penn State last season, and they made it to the Final Four in the college football playoffs, was their wide receivers. They have hit the transfer portal hard, and the best transfer of the bunch is Ross, who last year alone went over 1,000 yards with 11 touchdowns. So I do think that he is an absolute must-play at 5,400. Yes, I know this could be a 40-point game at the end of the fourth quarter, but I do also think that Penn State, especially with Drew Aller at quarterback, they want to know what they have at receivers. And I think he's going to get a lot of looks, especially in the first 2.5 to 3 quarters. So again, that's it. Once again, to recap, our 3 up players I believe you should pay up for, are Easton Messer, wide receiver from FAU at 7,500, wide receiver Elijah Surratt from Indiana at 7,100, and quarterback Bryson Braxton From Southern Miss at 7,500. The three down players are running back Rocco Griffin from UMass at 5,500. Running back Richard Young from Alabama at 5,800. And wide receiver Kevon Ross from Penn State at 5,400. Let me know how you guys do this week. Also, I'm getting this video out very late. I probably will I usually try to get it in by Friday night, but again, I said the first week is extremely difficult to gauge. Let me know how you guys did. I'm usually available for if you guys have any comments or any last minute questions till about 11 or 11:15. After that, I make phone calls to my beat writer buddies who may be covering a game. As I mentioned, I was a sports writer for a lot of years to see, who's on the field, who's not dressing, who's on crutches, and so on and so forth, and see who's practicing with a first team offense. So again, please hit like and subscribe. Leave me any comments. Comments are really appreciated. Questions even more so. And I wish you all a lot of luck this year. Again, if we can get past this first week with a profit, I think it's going to be a very, very profitable season. And again, I'm Sweet Lou, and we'll talk to you the next time.